Hi everyone. So sorry for this being so late for getting out. However, if you read the beginning of the newsletter, you would have seen that Natanya and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary, and so we took a couple weeks off to celebrate that momentous occasion. Now let's jump into the numbers because we're back at it. So what we're seeing is traditionally in November and December we see the number of sales, numbers of new listings, and the purchase prices all kind of fall, and that's very traditional for November, December. It's coming up to the holiday season. The snow is flying. People don't want to move in the winter. The good news is if your house is on the market and you get showings, these are normally motivated buyers. They're not tire kickers. They're actually people that are looking for somewhere to go. So it's a good time to have your house for sale. You'll get less showings, but you will get showings of serious buyers and not tire kickers. So let's jump into the numbers, knowing that we're going to see a lot of red in these numbers this time. So our month over month numbers, we saw new listings fall as expected, but interestingly, everything else in Midland actually increased. We saw the sales, the months of inventory fall, the days on market fall, and the median sales price increased. However, the year over year is a little different story. Midland saw the new listings increase, but the sales fell year over year. Only two. It's not so bad. The months of inventory is still really balanced. Although we saw it climb, it is still really balanced, and the days on market have fallen to 41. The median sales price, again, I say this every time, but in small markets like Midland, Penetang, what'll happen is because the number of sales are so small, one large or several small sales can skew these median sales prices. So we want to take a look at the year over year traditionally, or the average over a course of 12 months, and we're really floating in that 550 range right now, with anomalies like November of 2024, which pushed the average up a little bit. So Penetang, very similar story. New listings fell on our month over month. We did see year over year also new listings, sales, and months of inventory climb. So Penetang actually has, and traditionally it has not had a buyer's market of inventory, but it currently does. So buyers looking in Penetang could be in for a little bit of a selection option here, which we haven't had in the last couple of years for Penetang. Tiny, it's always red. Unfortunately, it's just the way Tiny is with the short-term rental laws and a lot of investors bailing on their properties there. So what we're seeing is continuing falling in the prices, both month over month, year over year. The sales did increase by one on the year over year and fell on the month over month as expected. Tay is pretty balanced when we look at the month over month. New listings, we expect those to fall. The sales stayed average. The months of inventory are really high in Tay, just like they are in Tiny, and they did decrease slightly. Days on market did climb, and the median sales price is at that 633 mark. Once again, with only 10 sales per month, sales get skewed very easily, so our median sales prices could change pretty easily as a result of very limited numbers. Now, Barrie is another story. Barrie has a lot of sales that take place, 140 sales this month, 201 sales last year, so it fell in activity very substantially. Listings are down slightly, leaving us with a buyer's market, but not a horrible level of inventory. Anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market, so we're just over top of that, coming up from what would have been a seller's market last year at under 4 months of inventory. And those median sales prices are fluctuating a little bit up and down. We'll see that in Simcoe County as well. Collingwood, similar story. We had sales fell quite substantially year over year and fell quite substantially month over month. But those median sales prices are still staying in that $800,000 range, up from 710 last month. So that's a good indicator that we're coming back to what was last year's normals. Wasaga Beach saw, again, very similar story, down in prices, down in total sales, and the months of inventory climbed to 9. So there's lots of inventory on Wasaga Beach compared to last year where it was only at 5.2. Aurelia, which has been our shining star for the most part, it's kind of sit in a balanced market all year. The prices have been very steady. Had a little bit of a shakedown this past month. Its inventory levels climbed year over year and substantially month over month. And the prices, the purchase price actually fell month over month and year over year. So we saw that across the board, the falling sales prices. But the good news is it didn't fall substantially when we look at it. So the year over year prices literally only came down 3%. This is again those headwinds that we're hitting on prices. We might see little fluctuations down and up year over year and month over month, but we are hitting those headwinds, and I'll show you that in a minute. New listings are down in Simcoe County. The sales are down. Months of inventory are up, and the days on market are approaching 40. So really, year over year, the 561 is down 22%. But believe it or not, that's not the lowest we've had in the most recent years. 2023 actually showed less sales. It was 523 sales in 2023. So this is growth over the 2 year period. We are still very low. We're still at that 15-year low 2010 numbers that we were producing with more people in the county, with more homes in the county. So we are very low in sales, and that tends to lead people to believe that there is pent up demand. What I really do want to show you here, though, is Simcoe County and the prices, the month over month prices, and the year over year prices. So we've seen a continual steady fall from March through November in the Simcoe County year over year prices. So year over year, we're down 7%. But the month over month fell 3%. And again, that shows you the headwinds 40, 33, 23. Slowly it was trickling down, and we saw an increase of 1% in October. And then because the snow flies and people just aren't buying at this point, we'll see prices drop through November, probably into December as well as activity wanes. And then come late January, early February, we should start seeing activity pick up again. And then we'll see those prices traditionally climb a little bit more during that period. Now, if you want a realistic understanding of what is going on in the market, don't hesitate to reach out. I am always happy to provide you with any information that you may need to be educated when you are getting ready to buy or sell, or if you just want to know what's going on.